Good morning, Gus. Let me address all your points that you sent in your last email. This way, this recording can be viewed by you or by anyone on your team on their own time. You don't have to wait for a meeting. But if you still have any question, let me know. Okay? Step number one, or question number one you had, was about the 3D view. As you can see, the 3D view is orbiting. By default, if you move your mouse, you can zoom in and zoom out on it using your mouse. If you hold the control key, you should be able to move the entire design any way you want. So the control key is the command for that. And obviously I have a window machine and it's a window keyboard. So I don't know what the control key is, if it is different on Mac or on a Linux machine. That's one thing. The second thing is that there are multiple controls that by default they're not expanded. One of them is show. If you open the show, you can turn off and turn on equipment. You can turn on and turn off walls, obviously. And you can turn on and turn off any inner walls if you have any. The 3D navigation basically does the same thing as it was for all the controls. You can control your the image any way you want. So these controls are available directly here in the interface. The next thing is that by default, I believe the configuration is in a way that is not allowing, is not consuming a lot of resource on the computer, but you can change that. If you go to Tools and you select Preferences, under General, if you expand it, you have the 3D controls. You can modify these controls in a way that will fit your need, and all objects will show up as detailed as you hope to see them. And if you wanted to see an individual rack more precisely, you can pull it up. Just right click on the rack itself and pull that rack out, and right click again and you can put it back in place. That should handle that problem. The next thing you ask for, if the front view of the device and the back view of the device can be changed. As I mentioned before, the thick client or the fat client platform is not going to get any additional features or any additional expansion. All the expansions and all the feature requests specifically related to ITA will be implemented on the web interface. On the web interface, we actually do have that. So for example, if I select a rack, you will notice that in that rack I have various type of devices. Let me go to that data center. So I will select this rack. You will notice that the devices have generic images beside only one of them that doesn't have generic images. So if I zoom in, you will see that this is an actual PowerEdge 2650. And if I look at the back of it, it should show the back of an actual PowerEdge 2660. The way we can achieve this is that any device, as you know, they have properties, and one of the properties related to that device is the asset visual. In the asset visual, you will have the possibility to import an image for the front and an image for the back. So if I go to another device that does not have specific image, you will see visual asset area is not having an image. If you click on this, you will be able to drag and drop or browse for an image for the front and an image for the back of the device. You mentioned that the 3D view was freezing for you, so in order to mimic that problem, what I did is I ran my client machine for the past 3 hours and had the 3D view at all time open in the system. Never had, didn't get any freezing problem with the system. There is probably something on your machine. In order for you to be able to get the right information, if you go to the help section, you will see that there is a download client log file. If you download the log file, you will be able to go to Ecostruxure IT help, or it is called helpcenter.ecostructurait.com. When you sign in, you need to be signed in. When you sign in to this system, you will be able to submit tickets. So these tickets are all related to ITA and ITE. You can talk about a specific issue. You can talk about any other requests that you have or any features that you're requesting. You can put a ticket for it and it will automatically be entered into the system. And usually product managers are scanning these requests tickets as soon as possible, and you should get a response from one of the product managers as soon as possible. So that should handle two of the issues. That you will be able to upload the log attached to that ticket directly in the ticket. So once you downloaded those logs, here at the bottom of the ticket you have the possibility to attach the logs if the issue consists with your own system. So you mentioned if you have any bugs that you wanted to report, this ticket is the way to go. So how do we get here? helpcenter.ecostructurait.com. helpcenter.ecostructurait.com. By coming in here, you get a lot more than just the ticket. So if you scroll down, you will see every single system, including Ecostruxure IT Advisor. All the information related to that is posted in here. You can go to a specific system and take a look at the special information related to capacity management, and all the documentation is converted into a web page where you can choose a specific section and dig into that section. And if you wish to have a physical copy of this, I can actually send you a PDF format of these information, and you should be able to work with that. So the documentation you have requested, you should be able to gather all of those in helpcenter.ecostructurait.com. Another point that you mentioned was that you would like to see the latest releases and any news related to any one of these software tools. Under categories, if you expand categories, and if you go to IT Advisor, for example, you will notice that it has What is New section, and in the What is New section, you will see everything related to this version of the application, the latest version of application, or even the old version of application. You should be able to find those information in here as well. So, for example, you can see the information for Ecostruxure IT Advisor, Ecostruxure IT Expert, all the what is new related to that, about all the releases. You will see all that information in here. Once again, the website, helpcenter.ecostructurait.com. It should help you with everything you are looking for. The next point was that you mentioned that you added a power meter and sensors were discovered, and you're trying to create a gadget on the Data Center Expert web client. The Data Center web client gadgets are basically dashboards. And dashboards, the thinking is that somebody wants to see specific information, not all the information. So if an individual is looking for a specific set of sensor data, you will create a gadget dashboard for them. And if you notice in that environment, you can create multiple dashboards. So there is a possibility of a dashboard to create it for building management team, a dashboard for IT managers, a dashboard for data center engineers. So each one of those dashboard has specific information related to it. If you need to see all the sensor data, if you wanted to see every single one of them, the right way of doing is going to the Data Center Expert FAT client, and you go to the report section. In the report section, you will be able to plot every single sensor of every single device, and you can actually create a report out of it. And you can, once you create a report, make sure you save that report. And once the report is saved, you will be able to access that report on the web interface with all the sensor plots in them. So let me get to that, and I wanted to show you how that is done. So here I am on the DCE FAT client interface. I will choose one of the devices to show you an alternative to what you're trying to do with gadgets on the web interface. Is basically you have the ability to select any one of your devices, and you can generate sensor report, sensor history report. So at this point, it shows me all the sensor for this device, and you can do the same thing for your device. You can choose this option saying you see all the sensors types are selected, or if you want a specific type of sensors, you can select it here. Uncheck this, and it will allow you to select specific sensor data points. And once they are selected, I will be able to generate this graph report for the past 24 hours. Now the beauty of this is that once this report is generated, not only you can see it here, but you have the possibility to save this report. So as you can see, this is every single data points or every single sensor data on that one device is shown here on this report. And I can save this report, whatever I want to name it, and it will show up in the list of saved reports. As you can see, there are a bunch of saved reports. The good part is that any report that is saved in here, that report, it will show up in the saved reports of the web interface. And you can have it for individual devices, you can have it for a group of devices, you can have it for every single location. So any one of these reports, when it's generated, it will show you the data points on the web interface, and any one of your users that needs to see that information, they will be able to come in here and generate that report. And once the report is generated on the screen, they will have the possibility to download that report into their local machine. I understand that the point that you mentioned about the gadget, I noticed that yes, it only allows 10 sensors to be added to any one of the gadgets. As I mentioned early on the Ecostruxure IT help webpage, here you can actually submit a ticket and request any feature related to that if this is something that you are interested to see. On top of all this, there's an Ecostruxure IT forum. You can go to forum, or you can ask a question in the forum related to that, or go through the questions that are already asked. There's about, I believe there's about a very large number of questions that has been asked. So each one of these products are labeled, and you can see the number of questions that have been asked and answered in this forum. You can do this by coming into the forum page. Again, you can create a ticket for it. Hopefully this information will help out with answering all your questions, and you will be able to share this video with any one of your team members that would like to see it. Thank you very much, and you have a good day.